We have a major Knicks injury update. According to the latest reports, Precious Achiuwa has begun taking contact, and he is extremely close to returning for New York. We also have an update about Mitchell Robinson. Even though multiple NBA insiders and experts have him returning after January, Mitchell Robinson has a personal goal to return by Christmas Day. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. But before we get started, guys, about 55% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We are on a mission to try to reach 20,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy content like this and you like daily Knick updates, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Precious Achiuwa is close to returning for the Knicks. This is the update I have been waiting for nearly all season long. Reinforcements are coming. Help is on the way. As we saw last night against Denver, we got back Deuce McBride, and we needed him. We needed his shooting, and we also needed his defense, but we needed more presence off the bench. And with Achiuwa close to returning, he's going to be another piece to play significant minutes off the bench for Tom Thibodeau. Let's break down the latest updates that we have here about Achiuwa from James L. Edwards of The Athletic. Shout out to him for giving us the following information. According to Tom Thibodeau, when he was asked about Achiuwa, he gave the following information. Precious Achiuwa is pretty much doing everything now. Done some contact. Mitch, he's still in rehab. But you know me. Just with this small update, I needed to know more. I needed to get more information. So thanks to Ian Begley of SNY, another great NBA insider, for breaking down these updates a little bit further and giving us more information about Achiuwa and potentially where he is in his recovery right now. Shout out to Ian Begley for giving us the following updates on his most recent edition of his putback episode. According to Begley, Precious Achiuwa, strong news there. Tom Thibodeau telling guys again on the West Coast trip that Achiuwa has returned to practice and done some contact. I would assume they don't rush him back and he's going to have to do some work conditioning to get back on the court. Maybe it takes a week or a few days before he can actually be ready to play in an NBA game. You got to see how the hamstring responds, but he's in a good place, so they should have him back shortly. Taking contact is the last biggest hurdle when you're dealing with any type of injury like that. Once you start taking contact, that means you're only a few days away, maybe even a week away before returning for your team. And that's exactly the place Precious Achiuwa is in right now. And according to Begley, he even acknowledged the exact same thing. Achiuwa might be a few days away, maybe a week away. But the point is, he is coming back. He is returning. He is extremely close. And once he returns, we might be able to see that double big lineup, including Karl-Anthony Towns and Precious Achiuwa. I'm not saying we're going to see that lineup to start, but maybe to close out games, depending on who we're playing, depending on if our defense is struggling, maybe in the third quarter, maybe in the second quarter, you might see that double big lineup of Achiuwa and Karl-Anthony Towns. And what will that look like exactly? Well, if I'm the coach, if it's me, I would have Towns play the 5 on offense and play the 4 on defense. And I would have Achiuwa play the 5 on defense just because he can move very well. He can already rebound. We know that from last season. He's very good on the defensive end as well, too. And under Tom Thibodeau, his defense has leveled up. And that's to be expected because when you play for Thibs, when you play for somebody who's defensive-minded like that, and he instills that into his bigs, you expect them to get better. So I'm happy Achiuwa is close. I'm happy he's going to return soon because we need that presence off the bench. We cannot have an 8-man rotation. We need to expand it a little bit more. And once Achiuwa comes back, you're going to see a 9-man rotation. And hopefully that means you'll have one starter run with the bench unit. And the one starter among all of them I am picking to run with that bench unit is Mikal Bridges because he needs it the most. Once he plays with that bench, He'll be more free. He'll be more open. He'll be able to play his game, the exact role we all thought he was going to play when we entered the season. We knew there was only so much ball to go around between Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. And now, with OG Anunoby stepping up and becoming that next big three on offense for New York, Mikal's going to need to run with another unit in order to get those shot attempts, in order to have the ball in his hands a lot. And the only way to do that, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, is to run him with the bench. We really couldn't do that before because we were not healthy. But now, with Achiuwa coming back, potentially with other players coming back, we may be able to do exactly that. And if we're able to do that and unlock Mikal Bridges, this team is unstoppable, because I don't know how you stop a team with the starting five like we have right now and a bench unit giving us the defense and the offensive firepower that they're capable of. The Knicks having a bench unit like that, with that type of starting unit, will be one of the hardest teams to beat on any given night. But we also have another update about another player who's on the injury list for New York, and that's Landry Shamet. According to Ian Begley, he states that Landry Shamet, we don't really have that many more updates about him, but he mentions no news is good news. I do think that once he gets all the way back, that the Knicks will strongly consider re-signing him, and then you maybe bring Matt Ryan back on a two-way deal. So he's basically confirmed. Once Shamet can return, the Knicks are going to waive Matt Ryan, and they're going to sign Landry Shamet to a standard NBA deal and get him back on this team. If you were wondering or thinking maybe the Knicks were going to do something different, maybe go after a different player, they're not. It's always been and always going to be Landry Shamet. That's been their goal since day one. Once he's ready to return, that's the move that they're going to make. But what about Mitchell Robinson? Where is he? Is he going to return earlier than January? Because multiple NBA insiders, including Ian Begley, including Steph Bondy, even some medical experts believe that Mitchell Robinson will not return until after January. But that's not stopping Mitchell Robinson, because according to him, he created a Christmas list. And on the Christmas list, you'll notice something very eye-opening. Let's see exactly what he said there. So this is Mitchell Robinson's Christmas list. If you really want to read through it and see all the things he has, please, by all means, you can do that. But for this situation, if you'll direct your attention toward the bottom portion of the list, you'll see there, it says, start playing by Christmas, I hope. That's a very ambitious goal for Mitchell Robinson to want to achieve, trying to return on Christmas Day for the Knicks. Now, I'm not saying he's specified on what he means by returning. Does he mean return for the Knicks in terms of coming back and playing that day? Does he mean return to on-court activities and doing more on the basketball court? We really don't know what Mitchell Robinson means. But having those goals, that's at least something to look out for, something to think about, because at least he's focused. At least he wants to make sure that he's returning for the Knicks and having an impact. And that's really all you can ask for a player like him who's rehabbing and trying to come back as healthy as possible. Mitchell Robinson is sorely needed right now, because the defense that he would provide inside for the Knicks would be game-changing. It would likely take the Knicks from near the bottom level of defense in the league right now to near league average. And if we can get there with the level of offense that we see New York already capable of, already giving us right now, and by the way, that's only going to get better as our chemistry gets better and we play more games. Just keep that in mind. But if the offense continues to look the same and the defense improves, the Knicks will be one of the hardest teams to beat in the league. So if Mitchell Robinson can return sooner rather than later, I am all for that. But I think even if Robinson could return on December 25th, I don't think the Knicks would allow him to do that, because from the start of the season, the Knicks have been bringing Robinson along extremely slowly. And there's one main reason for that. They do not want him to re-injure any part of his body, any ankle, anything like that, because they understand his value, not only in terms of rebounding, because offensive rebounds, he's one of the best in the league. It's also because of his level of defense, how he plays under Tom Thibodeau, and how we look as a team when he's in the paint and he's our defensive anchor. That's one of the main things we're missing right now. And Mitchell Robinson returning could really help that. Even though Robinson does want to return on Christmas Day, Ian Begley kind of burst that bubble by giving us the following update about Mitchell Robinson and where he is in terms of his injury recovery. According to Ian Begley, he states, Mitchell Robinson, according to Tom Thibodeau, told reporters on the road that he's still in rehabilitation mode. Nothing much new to report there, although you hear no setbacks, and that's good news. I think that late December, January timeline is still where it's viewed right now for Mitchell Robinson. Although, if you ask Begley, he'll more or less say he believes that Robinson will likely come back after January, not before then. Honestly, I'm not mad at Mitchell Robinson if he comes back December 25th or if you have to wait till after January, because for me, I'd rather him be 100% fully healthy as possible once he returns, so we don't have to worry about any injuries, any concerns to his health, or reduced minutes. But he's likely going to be on a minutes restriction when he returns to the Knicks. That's not anything surprising. It happens to every injured player once they return. However, after maybe a week or so, I don't expect that to be the case anymore, because we're going to need him playing his regular minutes, and that's 20 to 25 minutes a night for New York, as soon as possible. Maybe some of those times he's going to be playing with Karl Anthony Towns. Sometimes he's going to be the backup big off the bench. But either way, that level of defense is not only going to help the Knicks, it's going to be game-changing. Wait till we get healthy. Wait till our players return. Wait till we get more games and get more chemistry underneath our belt. We are going to be one of the most destructive teams in the entire league. And it's going to start with our stars and end with our bench. And our lockdown defense is going to be exactly what pulls us all the way through. You haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see it very soon. But what about you guys? What do you think about the latest injury updates indicating that Precious Achiuwa might be a few days away from returning to this Knicks roster? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.